Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm having to record this on my camera, on my phone, so it's a little different. This first setup is going to be kind of weird, but it's going to be okay. So you can hear me talking, but you can't see, and you can kind of see my shadow and my hand here. I'm just holding the phone above the thing because I can't find my little teaching stand right now, but that's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do first grade. This is kind of what I've been working on with my son. Very basic stuff, but it's really hard to convey this to little kids. I don't know. You just do the best you can. Okay, so I have ordering numbers and filling in the missing numbers. So my son brought home these things, and basically there's like little blanks and they have these numbers and they want you to fill in the missing numbers. The easiest way I know how to do this is just to have my kids count, right? So start at 0. All right, what comes after 0? And they yell, and he tells me, oh, 1. Most of the time he does this, and he does this really good. It's just counting. So 0, 1, 2, and then 3, and I have him just go in order. He doesn't really struggle when going forward, but when it's like this, so if you look at number 2, we don't have any of the lower numbers out front because he wanted to always start here. And then he was like, well, I don't know what to do, Mom. So instead of counting forward, I just had him start counting backwards. And I think it was lower numbers than this, but it's okay. So if your kid can't do past 13 or past 10 yet, I think that they were a little lower on the homework, but I just have them count backwards. So I point here and I say, and I'll even do like the first couple of them for him if he needs it. So I'll say like 13, and then what comes after, what comes before 13, and then he'll go 12, 11, and then kind of when we get into a pattern, he starts saying it. So he'll say like, oh, 10, 9, 8, and then he'll keep going down. And I think even on the homework, they had it all the way to where he had to go to 0. So it was like we counted backwards. We went 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then he stopped. And I was like, so what comes before 1? And he was like, oh, 0. And I'm sorry about the shadows, but it's all good. Okay, so then after the counting or filling in the blanks, we had the ordering from least to greatest. And I can't remember if they used least or greatest or if they just said biggest to smallest. I can't remember. Either way, they're going to have to learn least and greatest eventually. So introducing it right now will not hurt at all. So I just would tell them that least means the smallest number or lowest number, right? And the greatest is the biggest number or the largest. Right? So we're going to go from the smallest number to the biggest number. And for my son, for my first grader, I'm just going to tell you his name is Jesse. So for Jesse, it was easier for him to scratch out the numbers as he went because he could find the smallest number. He could tell me 3 is the smallest number, and we would put it in the first blank. But then he also kind of wanted to do like 4, 5, 6. And I was like, no, buddy, you have to use the numbers that are there. So we crossed them out so that way he couldn't repeat any of the numbers. So then I would tell him, okay, so now what's the next smallest number? Now that we no longer have this 3, what can I do next? What's the next smallest number? And then he could go from there, it seemed like. And I would just have to cross them out as we were going. And he was going. And if they struggle with, and I, by no means, I am nowhere near a first grade or kindergarten teacher or anything like that. I'm just telling you like what I tell my kids. So if they struggle with the ordering, you can always count. Maybe use a calendar. So I do that sometimes. If you look, I'm going to don't judge my desk. Okay. Oh, that was my feet too. Okay. So now that you've seen the whole thing. So sometimes I use a calendar and I'll have them use the numbers on the calendar. So we were at 3, 7, and 10. So he could tell me, 7 comes before 10. It's kind of like a number line. It makes it a little bit easier for them sometimes if they can see it versus just trying to go through it in their head. And then lastly, we're about at 5 minutes, so I'm going to try to cut this a little bit shorter. We're not going to actually do anything with the numbers 6 and 8. I've just been told by some teachers up at LG, some of the little teachers, that 6 and 8 are big numbers that these kids confuse. I'm not sure why. I don't know if maybe they look kind of similar, and if you write if they write a little sloppy, maybe they look different. But just have conversations with your kids. Talk about 6. Maybe don't even worry about 8 at first. Just talk about 6 and what 6 looks like, maybe different ways. There's not really too many different ways that you'll see the number 6 written, but you can write like the dots, like what it looks like on a dice or a die, actually not dice. Or you can do like really old school. If you remember back in the day, the way I was taught, we put the dots on there, and oh goodness, I don't even remember. 1, 2, 3, and then did it keep going? Okay, so that's a way, or you can look that up. In fact, I'll probably look that up from now on, is like how to do the little dots for you guys. And then after you're done with 6, I would not introduce both numbers at one time. But when you're done with 6, then I would move away from 6 completely and cover it up so they don't even see it. You don't even want them to see anything. And then maybe just write the different ways they can see an 8. So I write my 8s like that. I've seen them like this, so just different ways they can see it. And then you can do the dots as well. So 8 is going to be, I don't even know. Wait, it's just 4, right? Yeah, there. Okay. So 8 dots. And then we do what? Like 1, 2. I remember doing like doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't remember how they put them all on the 8, but like I said, this is my first video, so I will get better at this for you guys. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is your first grade little mini lesson. It went a little bit longer. I'll get better at this, I promise. Have a great day.